Hey, hi, how are you? Vadd here. We are playing Ark Survival Evolved on the Ragnarok map. We are just outside of Viking Bay, and we have the DinoOverhaulX mod. This is our first look at an Apex T-Rex here. This is the exact team we want to have to run the Rex gang down on the beaches. I'm really looking forward to taming our first Apex Rex. Today we do not have the tools to do that just yet. There's also some gotchas and some other tames from the Extinction map. I believe there's a gas bag just over here as well. Yeah, so just up the hill from Viking Bay there's a... Ooh, we should recognize this. This is our arch enemy, our arch rival, our nemesis. That's right, the Mega Carno has made his way over here. We have to make sure... Oh, it's a she. We got to get her. We need to eliminate her. And this is our first look at a dragon as well. All of these are DinoOverhaulX creatures that have been added. I'm going to fly a little ways away. I don't know what the aggro range is on this dragon, but this is an Apex Ice Dragon Prime Wild at level 1240. That's just going to be a little much for us to fight. There's also... I saw it just before I started rolling the camera. There's a golden Pteranodon over here. And I don't have the juice to catch this guy. I'm not fast enough. But the DinoOverhaulX mod adds a golden Pteranodon and a golden Dodo. And we're going to need to hunt some of these down to get the saddles for progression. But right now, I'm going to jump us to the Wyvern Trench. We are... After a couple of things for this episode, we are going to try and work our way through getting some more Apex Dodo tames so we can get some eggs to continue the progression for the pygmy treats. And I've got a mod that will pick up eggs for me, but in order to build the egg pickup structures, I need crystal. And in the Wyvern Trench, there is plenty of crystal. With the Dox mod, it changes the way the wyverns behave, where they're not going to spawn in here and have their nest in the specific spots they always do in regular vanilla Ark. If we see in Wyvern, if we see a dragon, if we see a Manticore flying around outside, there's a potential that they have landed and put down a nest. And sometimes when you see them flying around, it doesn't mean they've landed yet, or you could stumble across a dragon or wyvern or manticore on the ground kind of protecting in a nest protector role, and that's a big clue. There's probably an egg there. Coming out of the Wyvern Trench, I always appreciated the stars in Ragnarok. I wish all the maps put some stars in the sky. The Phoenix is still over here. The Phoenix cannot be tamed, but we can fight the Phoenix to try and get some of the loot. So I'm going to take a pretty wide fly path on the Phoenix. So you notice there were wyverns hanging out around the Wyvern Trench on the Ragnarok map, but there weren't any in the trench. So they could still go down and put down a nest. That's the Manticore that killed us last time, I bet. But it's unlikely that they will. And if you want to go in there and check, you can. But it's worth your time to continue to play through and explore the map and see what other nests you might find, because there's not a guarantee in the same way there is in the vanilla game. The beach has gotten pretty dangerous. We still have the Rex gang running things. There's an Allosaurus hanging out. And if I'm not dreadfully mistaken, we have not gotten rid of this rock drake yet. The Omega rock drake still wants to eat us. We really need to put up some torches here. It's way too dark. I've been editing out the gate noise. I've always thought that it was nice to know the gate opened and closed, but it was always just way too loud. I'm gonna leave one of them in just in case someone was really missing hearing that gate noise. But otherwise, comment below if you really want to hear the gates. Hey, we have some sulfur as well we picked up in the Wyvern Trench, and I'm going to be saving that sulfur because a rock golem would be a really great tame to help us progress. We're not quite there yet, but we do have some of the resources for it. Like I said at the start of this playthrough, I'm going to do my best to try and show no less than 90% of everything I do so that you have an opportunity to progress and use my playthrough as kind of a blueprint for how you could progress through the mod if you're really struggling. With the torches, I'm using the S+ torches. The S+ torches do not need fuel, and by not needing fuel, they also have an auto on and off feature. It's just something that I find just makes it a quality of life change and just smooths out my playthrough. And ooh, what's that? Okay, there's an Apex Mianca. So that's that Apex spider that if we kill that spider, that's going to get us some materials that we could use to build the Dox Trank darts and or rifle. Those Dox Trank darts are substantially more powerful. They deal more toper damage to the creatures we're trying to tame. So that's something we really want to consider. It can't get up here. I'm way up here on this ledge. I mean, I'm 3 or 4 times the height of that thing. And Dimorphodon. I need to seal off the wow. Oh, okay, it shoots. Huh. Okay, it's got a ranged attack on that Apex Mianca. Let's just stay away from that. I need to seal off the edges of this gap here. The Dimorphodon could for sure fly through here. Maybe something even a little larger. Did I lose it? It's got to just be right under this edge, that Mianca. I want to put some torches here so that it's easier to see it. Oh, wow, there goes all my stamina. Okay, so it looks like I'm slowed down for about 7 seconds, and my stamina goes straight to 0, and now I'm cocooned for another 3 or 4 seconds. I don't know how it hit me. That's pretty impressive. I mean, it must have lobbed it up and over and dropped it on top of me, or... Yeah, there it is. Wow. Okay, and it does damage as well. That's about half, a little, maybe a quarter of my health, a third, about half, and all my stamina. So, right to 0 stamina. Wow. Oh, shoot. Yeah, this is when you're using that controller. Sometimes the keybinds are a little double binded, and I whistled follow all and then follow stop, hoping that nothing's coming out here to fly. If I can get these torches up, it's going to make it easier to find my base in the dark, and I like the torches. I think it just gives the gate a nicer... Wow, that's way too... It's really close. This is bad. Okay. If you follow me this way, there's... I'm over here. What is this? I guess it spawns this little... I've been webbed for 30 seconds of toper. Wow, this is a dangerous thing. The Apex Mianca is not welcome. Not our nemesis, but certainly not welcome. This is the slowest foot race I've ever had. Fight the RG. RGs like to fight. So Apex Mianca, webbed us, cocooned... Oh, the RG likes to fight us, not spiders. That's cool, man. That Apex Mianca looks like it webbed us, cocooned us. Looks like it spawned this little spider minion that hit us with 30 seconds of toper. And one hit from that cocoon knocked out about half of our health. That's dangerous right there. We are not ready for that. And remember, with the DinoOverhaulX, a scorpion. Wow, you know what? Stun this. Yeah, follow me over here. Yeah, get a parachute. That's ridiculous. It is not safe. It is not safe. With the DinoOverhaulX mod, remember, the wild tames, the apex dinos, are the bottom tier of the dinosaurs we want to be fighting our way through. So right now that Mianca just about killed us, and then its minion almost killed us, its ranged attack almost killed us, and I'm really hoping it's not just trying to blast its way through my doors right now. This was not optimal. Okay, Operation Torch It is on full pause. I'm going to need a Pteranodon to get back to the base. And like I was talking about just a moment ago for that egg collector mod, I need crystals and I need rare flowers. And we're looking for Apex Dodos. So if by the end of this episode, if we can get some more Apex Dodos, that would be optimal. We're going to make sure we get that egg collector built so that we don't lose any eggs while we're out running about. This awesome Spyglass mod is pretty great. It's showing that these compies had aggroed to me, just gave me a second longer to get ready. Pago. Awesome. The egg collector mod. lets me build a structure that'll pick up eggs for me. I'm a tribe of just me, myself, and I. If I'm going to have some dinosaurs breeding, I want to be able to continue to progress through the mod outside of my base and not have to stand there and just collect eggs, especially from a dodo. So by the end of this episode, if we can get the egg collectors built, that'll be optimal. If we can tame some more Apex Dodos, that would be perfect. And I'd like to probably secure our base a little bit more. Those gaps in the side are a little concerning to me. If that Apex Mianca can see through them or shoot through them, or its minions spawn on the other side of the wall. Remember, I've got the torches, the hitching posts, and those hitching posts we're looking for rare flowers. On the Ragnarok map, they look like this, these little blue flowers you kind of see on the ground. And I'm going to speed up some of the running around looking for these. I have what I need after killing that turtle to build the Pteranodon saddle to fly back into my base, but until then I need to keep picking up some rare flowers. I'm going to need about 60 rare flowers to make the egg collector mod, egg collector structure. So if by the end of this episode, if we can get the gates a little bit sealed up in a way that is going to cut down on something mean getting into our base, that would be good. I have no faith that those gates will actually stop something that wants to go through them, but they're there so that if something is going to come and try and go down the alley or come get me, that they can't see into those gates. They're not going to turn aggressive on anything in those gates. I really appreciate how the Dox mod has changed the vanilla ARK dinosaurs to be passive tames. It really makes taming these Pteranodons a lot smoother as we continue to try and progress. So we have about 57, 56 rare flowers, almost 60, so we just need maybe one more patch and then we're going to have enough. We've got our Pteranodon, we've got our crystals, we can get back into the base as long as the Apex Mianca didn't delete everything we own. And this is where tragedy strikes. That's right, that's an Ichthyornis. Now normally when something that steals from your inventory, like an Ichthyornis or a Pygmy steals, it'll first steal from the last bar on your hotbar. Sometimes that's a 0 key or just the far right. In this case, the Ichthyornis stole my rare flowers, all of them right off the bat. And the Ichthyornis is unique because when it steals something from you, the first thing it does is it eats them. So if a Pygmy had stolen these from me, there's a possibility I could run him down and get my stuff back. However, this is an Ichthyornis, so those rare flowers are completely gone. I can't get them back. I couldn't have tamed the Ichthyornis and pulled them from the inventory. I can't kill it and get into the inventory. It is just another ARK moment. So those flowers took close to an hour of actual time to gather them all, and it's going to be almost that long again to gather the same number of flowers. So I'm going to speed this up quite a bit. We're still looking for Apex Dodos, and once we get our Apex Dodos and our egg collectors, we're going to have the first big ingredient we need for the pygmy treats. And the pygmy treats need more than just Apex Dodo eggs. That's just kind of the first part of what they need to be built. In addition, we're going to need to make a little bit of a garden. In our garden, we're going to plant some citronella. We're going to plant some long grass. We're going to plant some savo root. We're going to plant some rock carrot seeds. And those 5 items will be the total number of ingredients for the pygmy treats. So we're continuing to progress through the Dox mod, and when you download the Dox mod, like I've said in every episode to date, you're going to want to get your hands on the Dox Book of Wisdom, the Dox Book of Smarts. And in there it's going to say, under the tab Starting Out Hysteria, to spawn somewhere safe and get to a base location where you can start progressing. And don't pick fights. If you can avoid conflict, please do avoid conflict. We did that. Then it's going to recommend that you see the Apex Mianca. It's a little off. I have no idea how it got up this cliff edge. Maybe it can just go vertical. I sure hope not. Then you're going to want to work on taming some Apex Dodos. In last episode, we tamed our first Apex Dodo. Our base really isn't even halfway done. We still need a number of crafting stations, and we need more Apex Dodo eggs. I have what I need now to get the egg collector built. You do not need this egg collector mod. In S Plus, it has an egg collector mod. I think there's some rumor that in Genesis Part 2, a future DLC, there's going to be some egg collector function. I do have this listed in the mods list in the description of episode 1, so if you're watching along with me, I'm sure you know how to get your hands on that. I don't know if this one works very well. I might try a different one before the end of this series progresses. I think this will allow me to be outside of my base, gathering and taming and fighting, and not panicking that my dodos are laying eggs and I'm missing them. You can see in the background there, one of my Pteranodons laid an egg, and it's either going to spoil or hatch, or I'm going to eat it. But if I didn't come back to the base when I did, I would have completely missed that opportunity to get that egg. So this is a mod that is a single player in a team game, allows me to keep a smooth progression. It gives us these little artifacts. I'm going to set one up for future fertilizer production. I'm going to set one of these up for fertilized eggs, and I'm going to set up the third one for eggs, just regular eggs that aren't going to hatch into anything, but maybe we could use them for kibble, or maybe we'll just eat them if we're hungry. I don't know. One thing I didn't do here that I really should have is I should have extended the range on these collectors. They have a default range of I don't know, and I'd be really sad if it's only a couple of tiles and I needed them way closer to my tames. So that was a small mistake that I don't think is gonna be a big problem, but it would have been good to have gone into that inventory and extended that range out a little further. In addition to trying to get through the starting out hysteria and getting to a secure location and getting our Apex Dodos going and getting our garden together, we also want to be keeping our eyes open for good Apex tame. There's an Apex Rex across the way. I'm going to maybe go and tame that guy. Probably not this episode. I don't think we have the Trent gear just yet, and I'd really like to get our Apex Dodos together, because without those Apex Dodos we can't make pygmy treats. And right now we have one Apex Dodo. I think we need a little closer to 4 or 5. Operation Torch is going smoothly, all things considered. I didn't die. I almost died, and there's a pretty mean looking spider outside of our base. However, we do live in this lovely cave, and you can hear it's raining, but we are not getting water from that rain. So the torches are going to be great as it gets darker in here. If we wanted to plant our garden in the cave, I mentioned this last time, we're not going to get the greenhouse bonus. I'd really like to get that greenhouse bonus. I'm also thinking that I will end up setting up a base a little further away from Viking Bay as the series progresses, and I don't think I'm going to show that entire build. This is the first base, the starter base, the original base location, and I really am trying to make sure that you see the progression of how we got to this. Man, that rock drake really scares me. You know, I don't know why he won't fight that Bianca. I mean, aren't they not friends? I think I'm going to have more success putting this torch in if I am up on this edge here. I don't think I can get up here on foot, but I can place off the back of here. Now here's my big mistake. The keybind to interact with that torch is the same key. That's a huge gap. It's the same keybind that dismounts me, and that's embarrassing. So, took a little bit of fall damage, not a big heal, not a big deal, but I cannot get up this ledge. And, you know, I've seen the Santa Chronicles. The Santa hat has some agility perks. I know it's supposed to have some agility perks. I got really stuck here. I mean, I put the torch down. I don't know how the torch floats, but the torch floats, but then this happened, which is not good. And that Apex Bianca is so scary. It had that minion, it had the web. It just about killed me. Some of the Bloodstalker minion, almost at a higher level than the Bianca. This is bad. Okay, The slowest foot race ever times 2? Maybe not. This is not. Okay, level 945. Okay. I figured out the problem with spawning at my beds I had the other time. You just have to make sure you click the beds. I have a gravestone mod. I haven't built a gravestone yet. I think this is the episode we build the gravestone. I would really like to get my spyglass back, and I'd also like to get my parachute back. I know they're not a huge hassle to build. I really... Oh, man. I don't see that Bloodstalker minion. But the Mianka followed it. That's interesting. Maybe it's just... Maybe they were fighting each other? Maybe they weren't. I don't know. I feel like that Bloodstalker minion was summoned by the Apex Mianka. That's my firm belief there. And that is just bad news all around. But I guess he's not interested in us now. It had its fill after eating me and my Pteranodon. Huh. Weird. I really can't get back to my base from this side. I'm thinking I'm gonna maybe build a rope ladder or something so on foot I can get back to my base, but at the same time, if I can't get into my base, I don't know how that spider got up the ledge, but then it's gotta be oh, it's right outside. It's gonna be really tough for other things to get into my base as well. So I could put some stairs on this side to get up this little edge here, and maybe a gate on the I mean, things could run through the gate. I don't know. I'm still debating that. I think right now I'm going to leave my cave entrance kind of floating how it is. And this is our first look at, I believe, a wyvern. Did I see a wyvern down here on the beach? You know, Viking Bay has gotten really mean. There are not only the Apex Mianka, the Omega Rock Drakes, the T-Rexes, the Allosauruses, but I could have sworn there was a wyvern down here. I'm really hoping one of these flappy boys is a Pteranodon, and I can get back to my base and finish Operation Torch It, because not an Apex Pteranodon. We got to trank those out. We don't have the gear yet, but I would really like to just put up a couple of torches. This is almost as hard as those rare flowers. I think with the rare flowers, I think it was pretty fortunate we're in Viking Bay. I'm going to try this again. Okay. There are some rare flowers in the Ragnar. Okay, the Mianka's going down the hill. That's good. With being in Viking Bay here for our first spawn and our first starter base, the rare flowers were on the north end of the Ragnarok map. I've got some concerns that there's going to be some tames or some adventures we want to have in literally any of the other biomes on the Ragnarok map, and we're going to be unable to... Yeah, this is getting sealed. Wow, that Mianka does kind of go up that wall. Huh. I wonder if it really can climb up, or if, like that Mega Carno, is there a rock kind of at the bottom that gives them a little bit of a ledge up, a little bit of a spring? This is a bigger gap? Did nobody notice this? Why does nobody tell me these things? Comment below if I should leave all the gaps and not worry about any of them. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. I can't believe this. This is a huge opening. I mean, this is a behemoth gate. I am unable to put down a larger gate. I think we're gonna have to shore this up a little bit. You know, and I also think I could be wearing a little bit better armor. That Bloodstalker killed me pretty quick. In all fairness, it was level 954. I would have liked to have gotten it just a little further away from my base. I think that would have helped with not... I just don't like opening the door and then being surrounded by death. I would just like to be able to like fly 3 steps and not fear that I'm gonna get killed before I even start. That would just be the better way to do things. And it looks like when I did that whistle follow all, nothing followed me. The Deathstone personal grave mod is just another quality of life mod I like to have. It's not too expensive to make. I could have put one down earlier. I wasn't too worried about it. But at this point, things are only going to get harder from here, and this is going to come in very helpful. Basically, what this is going to do is, if I die, if I run back to my body, there should be a bag there. if I don't run back to my body, my bag should be in that gravestone. So here we are in episode 4 with our second death. Okay. The no durability armor mod has a no durability smithy. This is not really the optimal armor to be using in DinoOverhaulX. DOX has its own tier system of armor that have benefits and boosts that are far more beneficial to your progression than the no durability armor. For now, this is the armor I'm going to be using. It's going to save me some time in repairing my armor and losing those resources and give me a smoother progression. And I'm going to move from kind of my hide shitting armor here into Operation Torch. It's still in full effect, by the way. We're going to move into maybe some flak armor. I'm hoping that that gives me just a little bit more survivability so I can continue to progress. The DinoOverhaulX mod has several tiers of armor. You have some Manticore armor, and that's the top tier armor. That's the armor that we were really trying to get our hands on. In a recent update of the mod, recent as of the release of this video, the Manticore armor even has some corruption options that'll improve its stats again. We're not there right now. Right now, this is the best armor that we can get our hands on, and that's going to have to do. We're going to keep the Santa hat, though. It's always good to have Papa Noel. Okay, we have one Apex Dodo and it's female. Let's see if we can't get our hands on a few more. We did get the egg collectors built. Oh man, I'm really worried I'm going to come out and that spider's going to web me right in the face. Did you see that? It was a little quick, but is that a saber tooth? Wow. I don't know if he spawns over there, if he can jump across, but that's kind of scary. Apex Sabertooth, level 530, 2,000 health, 300% melee damage. That's just out of our weight class. It'd be fun to tame one. I'm not sure if it'll be useful for where we're at the current moment, but it would be fun to tame one. Now, with the Apex Dodos, again, it's going to be a passive tame. They do have a saddle you can build, and then you can ride them. I mean, they're pretty fierce. Again, it's a dodo, so try and put that in perspective. And thankfully, this dodo is just right outside the base. And there you go. We now have our second Apex Dodo. It's another female, which is good because they can lay the eggs that we need. We still need a male Apex Dodo egg layer, egg maker, egg teammate to get the... Don't the torches look great? The torches were the right decision. You know it, I know it, we know it. This is a little embarrassing. I had a small nightmare of a time trying to get this Apex Dodo into kind of the dodo area. I got stuck. I mean, they're as big as I am. We see eye to eye. I mean, they're one wall high entirely. I even made my character kind of tall for kicks and giggles. I know most people in ARK make a teeny tiny character for the hitbox advantage. Whatever. Okay. Hitched up. There we go. Apex Dodo 1, Apex Dodo 2. I was really fortunate. I could just be flying out that side gap. I'm telling you. Did I just glitch through the... I was really fortunate I found that Apex Dodo right outside my base that last time. I spend about an hour or more looking for an Apex Dodo. I cut out some of the time. I sped up most of the time. I have that creature finder mod. I was really trying to not need to use it. I know Ragnarok is one of the larger maps, if not the largest ARK map, and I just don't find an Apex Dodo anywhere. This is worse than my Pteranodon hunt. I fly all over. In between these flybys, I actually cleaned off the beach of dodos twice, and they just spit in my face. There are no Apex Dodos, and I have no idea why. There was one literally right outside the base, but no, not so much. So I'm going to pull up the creature finder, and it's going to give me a little bit of a help here to find an Apex Dodo. And I had looked over here. There was not a Dodo over here the last 2 times I flew by. It doesn't mean it couldn't be here now. It doesn't mean I might not have missed it. However, it was a pretty big time sink to tame the lowest possible tier dinosaur in the Apex list. Maybe there's a weaker Apex and I don't know it. If you know of a weaker Apex dino, feel free to let me know. But otherwise, I'm pretty sure the Dodo is the bottom of the Apex tiers. With the Apex Dodo in my hands, I believe this one is male. And it's not the prettiest color, which is okay. But it is, you know, it is going to do what it needs to do. And I don't know why it's the case, but I'm telling you, I think there's a Wyvern out here. I keep thinking I've seen a Wyvern. I saw a Wyvern. There was a Wyvern on Viking Bay, but every time I've been looking for it, it's not there. But I think I've seen one. It's just, it's not a nice place to be right now. Okay. Our new favorite game, a little Dodo Basketball, almost. Okay, we have our Apex male Dodo. I'm going to make sure that I've got these dinosaurs on my hitching posts set up to breed. You don't need the hitching posts to breed them. They've got the little hearts. I have my egg collectors going. Okay, this has been, so far, check. We have the Apex Dodos we need. I'd like to get probably 4 more female Apex Dodos, but we can start getting some eggs moving. We have several torches down. Okay, we're making progress. We got our egg collectors built. We upgraded our armor. I think if we can finish off, again, I couldn't find a Dodo anywhere, and this was the closest one, and it's not dreadfully far. It's not too close, but this is right where we were flapping a second ago, so, ooh, it's a good color, though. So it looks like my timing was just a little bit off in catching these guys. Now, with the Dox mod, I mentioned that Manticore Armor is really going to be the armor we're going to try and get our hands on. The Manticore Armor doesn't get dropped by just any dino. We've only been really looking at the Apex dinosaurs. That Manticore Armor is going to need us to fight the Mega Dinos. Oh, see, there's a Wyvern out here. I keep seeing it just out of render distance. That Manticore Armor needs us to be fighting Mega Dinos, and those Mega Dinos are, again, that tier above the Apex Dinos, and we can't fight an Apex Dino yet. We just don't have the juice, but this is a part of the progression, getting these Dodos to get their eggs so we can make the Pygmy treats, so we can tame some Pygmies, so we can work our way through some... Is it a Fire Wyvern? Yeah, it's a Fire Wyvern. The Viking Bay is listed as an easy spawn. That doesn't mean it's an easy spawn. And I had some concerns that because I built over here, things are spawning over here. I actually reached out to the Dox community, and I got a confirmation that's not the case. Just because you build a base there doesn't mean that things are going to extra spawn there or run you down. It just kind of feels that way. You know, when I moved in, there wasn't a T-Rex. I mean, the biggest carnivore on the beach was a Dilophosaurus, or maybe even me, you know. But right now, we have Wyverns. We have that Apex Mianca. We've got the Omega Rock Drake, the T-Rexes, that Apex Sabertooth just about pounced on us. It's really got mean out here. Those Mega Dinos are really a tier above the Apex Dinos, and we're going to do our best to show a Mega Dino fight and a Manticore drop as we progress through this. There is some RNG. There is some gotcha. There's a little bit of, if I kill this Mega, it's not a guarantee that I'm going to get the drop. So we'll see if we can't get our hands on a full set of Manticore Armor. That's going to be substantially better than our current armor. I'm going to put up a second gate here. I think this might be a little easier than trying to cut down those rocks. I feel like those rocks, like, what kills the... I can fly right through here. Yeah, confirmed. I mean, these gaps have to go. Even with the second gate, they're just way too big. Okay, I feel like having these rocks here, you know, most of the dinosaurs in Ark don't destroy the environment, so they did provide a smaller gap for something big and mean to come through my base, but if it can fit through a behemoth gate, it can probably wreck my whole base. So, now, there's a Wyvern. Oh, an Apex Ice Wyvern. Okay. Well, on the positive sides, if there's Wyverns around, they might have put down an egg somewhere, so we will keep our eyes open for a Wyvern egg we can maybe get our hands on. And with the behemoth gates, again, if something really wants to come through these gates, they can. This is not going to stop those Apex, those Megas, those Titans. It is going to hopefully, let's say a spider's up on the ledge again. Who would have thought that would happen? But if a spider's up on the ledge again, maybe their minion doesn't glitch through the wall. I've been trying to put together some extra material for the next base. Whenever I build something, I try and build 2 of them. And I think this is where we're going to let off. I hope you enjoy this episode. We were very successful in what we set out to do. We've got some eggs from our Apex Dodos, and we have upgraded our armor. We've got some torches, and this is the end of episode 4. Please be sure to join me next time in episode 5 as we continue to progress through the DinoOverhaulX mod. Until next time, peace. If you learned something or enjoyed this video, share it with a friend. If you are new here, please consider subscribing. If you have joined and enjoyed before, welcome back. If you would like to see more quality content, please consider joining me in supporting the channel through Patreon and utilizing the affiliated links. Thanks!